Welcome to the Registered Investment Advisor Podcast, where financial services marketing expert Seth Greene interviews experts, executives, and top producers to share can't-miss tips on how they successfully manage their financial service firms, grow their businesses, create great relationships, and influence the industry. And now, here's your host, Seth Greene.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I have the good fortune to be interviewing Joseph Moore from JLM Risk Management. Joe, thanks so much for joining us.
Seth, great to be with you.
Great to have you. Let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get started in the business?
Well, I started in the business in 1986. Met a recruiter in a bar in Fort Lauderdale. I was about to become a stockbroker at Merrill Lynch, and he said, you should try this commercial insurance thing. And I ended up going through the interviewing process and started in a corporate insurance business with Liberty Mutual as a result of that conversation.
All right. And how has the business evolved since then?
Okay, well, since then, I worked at Liberty Mutual, which was a direct writer. After that, I got into the brokerage business with Marsh and McLennan. And around that time, I determined that I wanted to go into business. And, the transition from being on commission sales to being in business was a very small, short leap for me. And then in 1996, around the 96 Summer Olympic Games, I founded JLM Risk Management Group. Had a buddy that controlled the vendors for the 96 Olympics and used that as the catalyst to start the business. Soon after that, we got a national endorsement from AFC Enterprises, which was Church's Chicken, Popeye's Chicken, Chesapeake Bagel Company, and Sailor's Best Coffee at the time, and had a national endorsement for them and used that as the catalyst to really get this thing going. So we've been trying to evolve into a full service brokerage, doing some specialty finance and corporate insurance, and I've been in business now for, around 27 years.
Well, congratulations on all of that. Who is an ideal client for you now?
Okay, now we primarily play in the middle market. We're a resource to middle market firms. We've done work for Fortune 100 companies, down to one location, Church's Chicken operators. But a middle market company that's going to have generate I'd say have about 100 employees or so would be our target, with revenues between $5 and $10 million.
And then what types of services are you providing for them?
Okay, we do property and casualty insurance brokerage, life and employee benefits services. We do high-end estate planning, all of the commercial needs, surety bonding, and then some specialty finance for contractors around bond and mobilization finance.
And how are clients finding you?
The old-fashioned way, we're big networkers, but then in addition to that, we have, our clients refer us out quite a bit. And so we depend on center of influence marketing primarily as one of the ways we get business through debt and equity funds. We assist a couple of equity funds in their due diligence on target companies, and they'll refer us out. We contract, lawyers, accountants, things of that nature. Aggregators of business are really our best source of business, that and our clients.
All right. And then I know we're talking about insurance and other things. What are the problems that you're helping those business owners solve? What do they say when they come to you going, I need help with X?
Many times it's structuring the insurance program in a manner that allows them to assume risk and transfer risk, right? Many times, one of our competitive advantages is that we've dealt with a lot larger corporations, both as a firm and then in my prior life in the national brokerage ranks. So some of the risk strategies that we see in Fortune 100, we kind of bring down into the middle market, and that's really been our competitive advantage. Just restructuring the program to provide adequate asset protection, but at the same time to preserve cash flow for the organization.
Absolutely. With all the success you've achieved, what's your biggest challenge now?
I would say we'll continue to scale the operation. We have really become more introspective here the last, 2 years, like everyone else. and so really focus on scaling the operation. I mean, we have a good and talented team. We're looking to expand our footprint primarily due to opportunity that's out there. So it's a new challenge for us, and we're up for the challenge for sure.
Absolutely. With everything that's going on, and you talked about that being, becoming more introspective. How have you pivoted or changed it at all, the way you're doing business through the pandemic?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the pandemic for us has created some opportunity because now we've adopted a partially virtual model. And so as we look, as we revert back to our scaling strategy, we've opened it up to employees that are really outside of our typical area of operations. So we have some employees that are actually out of the country in India. We have some other people that are located throughout the country. So it's really created an opportunity for us to bring some new talent in, new ideas in that help us to achieve our corporate objectives.
That is awesome. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I think it's the variety in, my day-to-day activities. We deal with a number of different companies, a number of different industries. We've been in business for some time, so I have the luxury now, and our business is very much residual income. A good part of my day is being spent with friends of mine that are clients, for long-term clients. So my existence is I spend time with my friends all day trying to help them out and do what they want to do. So it makes for a very rewarding experience for me.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about the team you've grown.
Sure. We have tended to, we're not a very good training organization. So our team is comprised of experienced professionals with backgrounds that are similar to mine, where they've come out of the national brokerage ranks and are now functioning in our boutique operation. So like most people, I've endeavored to surround myself with people that are smarter than me, which is easy to do. And so we have some very talented and smart people that work as a part of the team and help us to make sure that we add value to our clients.
How do you make sure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to be doing it, the right way every time?
Well, we have really, and that's one of the things that we really focused on, is shoring up our procedures, our standard operating procedures. And it's a living document, but it really enables us to manage the process as opposed to managing the people. And that's been the key to our growth as an organization. Strong processes that the organization adopts, and then managing those processes. So that enables us to ensure that we are getting the job done without creating an environment where our employees are being overly micromanaged.
Absolutely. What changes do you see, if any, kind of coming down the pike in the next year or two?
Well, in our business, we sell insurance. And one of the new trends that we're really focused on now, and it's becoming more and more prevalent, is the emergence of cyber insurance and how that is really becoming a hot topic with a lot of our clients, including our firm. In the past, we hadn't brought cyber. We bought cyber as a coverage this year as an operation. So, increasing our expertise and confidence around cyber insurance is really one of the things that we see coming down the pipe. And then some of the property insurances, some of the national disasters, for whatever reason, we're having more and more incidences of that. And so some of the property insurance, catastrophic coverage is another area we're focused on.
Absolutely. What would you say to yourself, if you could go back in time, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently back when you started?
Wow, very good question. I think I would focus more on being myself, right? I evolved to that, over time, and getting comfort in just being myself and understanding that, what I bring to the table as a professional. And so that's maybe it's a mark of maturity, but it's a piece of advice that I give to a lot of people, a lot of young entrepreneurs that I tend to interact with on occasion, is just to be themselves. And, it's a lot easier to be you than anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you there. I know that you are a student of the industry and a student of personal development. I know that your faith is important to you. What are some of the books you've read that have had like the biggest impact on your career?
I would say, I just read a great book recently called Thou Shalt Prosper. And it was an interesting book that gave it tied spirituality to prosperity and the philosophy within this one faith on money in general and the generation of money and how it's important and how, being in business is not necessarily an evil thing or full of evil people because of the benefits that come from business owners in terms of job creation and ideas and, growth of the economy. So it's a very interesting book. And I would say that book, while I've yet to see the impact that it has on me, I think it will have impact on me.
All right. And for our folks who are watching and listening and want to learn more, what is the best place for them to go to learn more about you?
Sure. I would say visit our webpage at www.jlmriskgmt.com. Our office is 404-874-2929, and it's jmoore@jlmriskmgmt.com. We love to hear from them.
Awesome. Well, this has been Seth Greene with Joseph Moore from JLM Risk Management. Joe, thanks so much for joining us.
Outstanding. Thanks, Seth. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.